Dear sisters, I've been married for 5 years and we have 2 boys aged 7 and 4. My husband suffered a stroke 2 years ago and he has never been the same since then. He's unable to work or do anything. I don't have the right word, but he's become a burden to me and my kids. I asked his mom to come fetch and nurse him, but she refused because his wife should be the one taking care of him, she said. I'm only 28 and it's too much for me. I'm not coping with working, studying, and being a mom and also a wife to a man who can't do anything. I tried for 2 years, but I just can't do it anymore. I have been dating a colleague for the past 8 months, and he's the only person that takes away my stress. That was so easy to say. Wow. Everyone else does not understand how depressed I am. My colleague says I must inform my parents that I want to leave my husband and start my life afresh with him. Sisters, I'm considering it, but I don't know how to go about it without sounding heartless. I love my husband, but there's no hope for him right now. I don't want to look back when I'm 45 and regret not living my life because I was expected to be in the marriage alone. Sisters, what should I do? Because I'm really, really confused.
I got off when she said, I love my husband.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Does she understand the entire letter, nothing you did sounds like you love this man. Then the last bit, you just add that for sympathy.
Hey, it choke, pa. It choke. That's fine, it choke.
She's been heartless already.
You see, you are married to a man. Assuming the man was providing for you for 10 years, the man was everything you ever dreamed of for 10 years. The man gave you things ahead of his mother for 10 years. I don't think you write to us complaining that, oh, my husband dosed me with so much pleasures of life and I just can't handle it. I want him to take a bit or maybe go and give his mother some. And I don't think you write to us and tell us that.
Please.
The only reason why you are talking to us is that you see, the marriage says for better, for worse.
I was going to say,
your
take that out of the vows.
Your worst has come early, and then you think that, hey, I'm good for the good, I'm good for the better, but hey, for the worst, should go back to the mother.
Go to my mother.
Really? And you see, even if you said, oh, you were doing it for 5 years, 10 years, then you can say you are truly fatigued. 2 years. And after the 2 years, you've been dating somebody for 8 months.
So technically, again,
for me, I see you like as soon as you started having challenges, you said, "Challenge,
she started looking.
I'm too young, I can't." You just started looking.
She just
realized she already said she's only 28.
So I'm only 28, and then I don't want to get to 45 and then feel like I didn't live my life.
When it comes to marriage,
life begins at 40, by the way.
Yes, when it comes to marriages, right? Marriages are not designed to be a walk in a park. Marriages are not designed to be a bed of roses. Yes, they can be. But they can only be if it is worked on over a period of time. So there's the artificial phase, which because of the excitement, we just got married, it seems rosy, it seems okay. And when reality hits in, the kids are coming, bills are coming, you are living in each other's space. So it means something as simple as toothpaste, whether the person cleans the leg before lying on the couch or not. Very funny things like that, you begin to put strain on the marriage. And then sometimes little illnesses here and there. Sometimes it may not even be the husband, it may be one of the children who has an issue. Then they start putting strain. There's discourse, there's blame game, there's arguments. Then along the line, if both of you are working towards it, then you begin to live in harmony. That's why both of you accept who both of you are, and both of you decide, like, listen, I'm willing to live with this or not live with this. Some people would exit before that moment, or some people know that they can't get to that harmony stage, so they exit. You understand? But it goes through a meal. So if your kids are 7 and 4, I'm thinking that, okay, assuming that you had your kids after your marriage, you've been married for like 8 years.
Yeah.
And after 6 years, you are
having
5 years.
No, she said, I've been married for 5 years. And we have 2 boys, aged 7 and 4. Okay. So that means
they had a kid
before they
so we married for 5 years and all of that. So at the end of the day, this guy unfortunately was struck with some form of disease through no fault of his. I know people who have stroke and I know others too who have worked on it and they have recovered. And what I know about certain diseases, that most of it is just waiting it out. Sometimes mental game, caring. If the husband knows that you are caring for him, sometimes he may have, there may be that energy, that drive to get better. That will really move him to actually become better than everybody expects him to be. And of course, if you are spiritual, you add prayers to it so that you can get better. But at the end of the day, it is very unfair. Because if the roles were reversed, we'll be here bashing the man.
Yeah.
And this woman had children for you, and you are living here. Same way, madam. You said you don't know how to say it without people describing you as heartless. Madam, you are heartless.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You are heartless. I mean, that you haven't been tarried for so long. Like, you haven't waited it out for so long. And you see the arrogance, calling the mother that, hey, right now your son is sick, so come and collect you. You see, if you were a good woman, I'm sure your mother would even come in to want to come and help. Exactly. But the way you think that, Charlie, this one is not my cup of tea, so woman, come and take your son. Plus, if during the marriage you were not entertaining the woman in your home, is it now that you wanted to come to your home?
No.
So at the end of the day, everything seems wrong with this. What I'll tell this one is like, listen, what goes around comes around. Today you think you are 28, you think you are strong, you think you are beautiful, you are vibrant. It could be you having a stroke next month, next year. Yeah. It could be you, something happening to you. And you see,
before that 45 that you want
and
to
these guys, and for me, I have a problem with people who like to give married people attention to make you feel like they are offering them a safe space so that they can't even work on their marriage. So it's like, it's noise. Because a marriage is going through a cycle. Then you come from nowhere, like an addendum, like some attachments, like some useless. And then you come and then you want to give this man or woman a safe space. Like, oh, hello, hi, baby, hi, sugar, hi, darling. Oh, you can do this. Charlie, what kind of... It's TV. Let me know you certain language. What is that?
It's a temptation the devil brings your way.
Yeah, what is that? You see, and when that happens, you realize that the spouse that is getting the attention from outside doesn't have energy to work on the relationship, to work on the marriage. Then in the long run, to look like the other woman is nagging, or the other man is nagging, or the other man is expecting too much, but at the end of it all, you are disturbing the course of the marriage as a third party. Now, the thing is that when you finally leave your husband, this man will not leave you. He will still enjoy the thing, right? You enjoy it, but listen, he will never take a step to marry you because he knows that this is the kind of person you are. If something happens to him, you do the same. In 6 months, or because this one like Chaloga, have you know the memo? The other one, it was 1 year, 2 months, or 1 year, 4 months before I started.
And that was number one.
And that one, he didn't even know. But now you know the memo, so maybe your own will be like 6 months. Then she will move on. So this man would enjoy you for as long as he can enjoy you. But to take the extra step and marry you, he won't do it because he knows the kind of person you are. So my dear, you are heartless. But there is time to arrest the situation. Quit with that gentleman in the office. To start with office romance, I don't understand. It's not. Quit with that.
It does not make sense.
Quit with that gentleman in the office. Go and concentrate on your husband. Marriage. Show your husband love, attention. If you are spiritual, you can pray for him. Make sure he gets the best of medical care. Be there for them. Make sure the kids are around him. Because these are the things that he lives for. These are the things that will motivate him to get better.
Get better.
And he might get better. And you would enjoy him because you remember who you were when he was down.
Exactly.
If, God forbid, he dies, that one...
It's different.
Naturally,
the death has done you parts.
Then has done you parts. Then you can move on with your life. But for him to be going through the stress and you think that you are, Charlie, madam, you are heartless. I beg you.
You know, I honestly think some women are given as women a terrible name, and I think this has to be addressed. She is heartless from the word go. Madam, you are heartless from the word go. And I think if nobody is going to tell you, we here as sisters have told you, you are heartless. Now let's get to the bottom of it. You have such a nerve to get married to a man. Everything he showed you before the marriage vows, for you to agree to marry him, knowing very well that marriage is not a bed of roses. Anything can happen in the entire process. Nobody said in the marriage vows that, oh, when trouble comes, you have every right to walk away. Nobody said that in the marriage vows. So for you to have the nerve to even now start seeing another man in the marriage is just wrong. It's flawed on many levels. You are an adulterer, and you need to check that as well. Now, back to the fact that you think this man is stressing your life. What you need to do is to get your kids out of whatever school they are in, when you guys could both afford to take care of them, and take them to a lower standard school, and use the rest of the money to take care of this man. Because at this point, you are the sole breadwinner of the family. Cut down every cost that needs to be cut down so that you can comfortably take care of him. And that school she's talking about, this is not the time for it anymore. Even if maybe you started to do your master's or what, she needs to sit down and think of all the things she can cut down This is the reality she's faced with now.
Yeah.
And I think when people I feel like these are some of the things they should be telling people when they go for these counseling, etc.
Yeah.
Because this is the reality of life. It could have been anything else but stroke. It could have been an accident. Look, one time I went to General Hospital to visit my stepdad, and there was this man who had bent. His whole body was bent. And his wife was there taking care of him. I asked myself, could I do this?
Exactly.
But these are the questions as a woman when you're growing up and you're about to get married. You should ask yourself, because marriage is not a joke. I think it's one of those, it's not for children. No. My pastor always says it that sometimes God is even preparing you. That's why he's delaying you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, I want to get married. Because it's not that easy. So for you to want to run away because of stroke, ask yourself, if you were in his shoes, would you be happy if he was doing the same thing to you? She's being unfair to this man, and I think it's terrible. And I think she needs to check herself, ask herself the right questions, and if she has wise parents, this is the time to go to them for advice.
Right.
This is the time to go to them for advice. And sleeping with an office colleague, terrible. Terrible.
When your
Shame on you,
husband is
ma'am.
not well.
Shame on you, yeah.
Right.
It's terrible.
Felicia.
Yeah. So I hear her when she talks about being stressed. To be honest, these things, we talk about them, but in reality, it's not as easy as it seems. But there is support.
Yeah.
There is nursing support. You can have a stay-at-home nurse who can help with your husband so that you can take on maybe extra hours at work or even spend more time with the kids. I agree with my sister Sichu. It's time for a reality check. Go back to the drawing board. Ask yourself, where can we cut costs so that I can get the support I need? And when we talk about support cannot just come from a nurse or a professional or whoever it is. It can even be from friends.
Yeah,
Oh, Amma,
relatives.
can you hold on to Kweku and Kwesi for the weekend so that I can spend more time with daddy? You know, you need to find a balance. And asking your in-law to come for her son.
What nerve?
Are you kidding me? What nerve? These are the same women fighting their in-laws. So imagine if it was Rosie, or the husband had money, had cars, had this best things. Hey, she'll be the same person writing to us, telling us, and our mother-in-law comes to the house all the time. She's looking into our business. He's my man. I married him, and the two shall become one.
And now that you've become one, you are pushing him
His
to
mama's boy.
Mama's boy. Hey. And now you're pushing him back to the mother. Hey, don't you respect? You know, when you started the story, the question I asked myself was, have they taken for better from worse out of the marriage vows? No, I haven't been to a wedding in a while, so I had to double check. Maybe they've taken that out.
You know what?
But
what
she doesn't
what we have right
understand that
now,
bit of it.
No. Sometimes people actually write their vows, like they customize the vows. I've been to weddings where some things have been taken off, the suffering parts especially. So people don't say. Some people don't say for Richard for Cora
I watched
again.
one that said
They
for
say
Richard, for Richard.
Yeah,
Oh,
you understand.
okay.
So sometimes they take away.
They forget that even when you are cooking, there are times that you put more salt than you expect. So in everything you do, there's definitely a worse.
Yeah.
If
Even
it's
a
richer
worse.
and richer, if for richer or richer, which means that there's a
When poorer
benchmark
comes.
that's better than another one.
Another
Yeah.
one. So you should be prepared. So this girl I see is just not matured.
Yeah, not
Thank
much.
She's just not mature. That is it. That's the honest truth. Lady, you are not matured. I don't know who advised you to get married. You did get married, and thinking about it, she's just 28. Meaning
Yeah.
she got married very early.
Yeah,
And that's a problem. A lot of people
No,
marry
28. Her first son is 7 years
7
old.
years.
That means she even got
22.
pregnant at 20.
20.
And had the baby at 21. So, and then they got married 5 years. Then she got married at 23.
Yeah.
So
she's
for her,
just-
no, maybe she wasn't ready. And the guy was like, oh, you're beautiful, you're pretty. So she's like, hey, I want to continue being a pretty thing. I can't be a nurse.
And for that work colleague, he thinks that this is a bed of roses for him to go and lie in. Hey, there's this thing called karma. But he's not heard of it. It will come. It will serve. It will be served hot. Hotter than pepper.
On steroids.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes I'm always left wondering how some of these women get husbands. It makes me sad.
It's
Makes
sad.
me sad.
Because materials are not getting it.
The materials are not getting.
One thing, no, they get. No, you see, one thing, they get.
Market is hard now. Market is hard, sister. Market is hard. Market is hard.
It's true. It's actually true. No, because like the Sierra Leoneans will say one thing, no, they get, they get. Yeah, and they get, no want.
Yeah.
You understand?
Because it doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
No, but
Right.
You see, I think that it goes both ways. I think that people now are not marrying for the right reasons. I think traditionally, even though, I mean, parents will go, they'll go and watch, look for who is compatible with you and all that. And then once the child hits puberty, traditionally, the elders in the home, they take the children through certain processes. More
and
like
training,
preparing them
for
to be wives, to be husbands, how to care for a home, how to look after your. But now because of westernization and, you know, people are moving and traveling,
Overwork
all
is
these
killing
things are worrying us. Because sometimes as soon as you're a lady, you start menstruating, they'll start talking to you. Now you're becoming a woman. You have to learn how to cook. You have to learn how to do basic. A man, once you start getting to a certain level, you have to go hunting. You have to learn how to farm. I'm not saying that's the work you do, but mentally they're trying to teach you that, look, listen,
you have to become responsible.
you need to become a man, to be responsible. A woman, the home is your priority. Take care of your home. This is what you have to do. I don't agree with all the processes because sometimes it feels like you're putting a woman in a box and a man in a different box of success and a woman in a different box. Sometimes there are gray areas there, but at least there was some form of tuition putting you mentally into that state of mind. That is why some of our mothers and even fathers, they went through certain things in their marriages and they still stayed. They worked on it. They became better. They were able to pick their children above themselves and make things work. And then the children will grow up, be rosy and everything. But we are in a fast food age.
And I think the media is also not helping.
Yes, at all.
You touched on it a little bit. I think not in a bad way, especially if you are like those of us in the media space, like we benefit from all the trends and all that. But I don't think it's really working for mindsets, like setting up different mindsets or changing people's mindsets. I think a lot of people now see marriage to be all like rosy, the wedding. Now marriage is like the wedding.
Yeah.
So
Let's
when anyone thinks about wedding, marriage, it's all about the wedding. So when they go get married and they settle, then reality sets in. It's like, what is happening? I even know people who don't even stay with their partners before they get married.
No, they don't stay with their partners even after marriage. They have finished their performance.
They live somewhere, the man leaves. So there's a process. Even forgetting about our traditional or cultural setting, even in the Western world, they have dating, courtship, living together, sharing the same space, knowing who you are living with. And we are talking about a medical case. You even know about the things your guy or your husband eats that's not really good for their health. And you can advise, oh, these drinks you've been taking, Oga, slow down on it. It's not good for your health. These are investment, things you invest into your marriage or into the relationship prior to settle down. Like sometimes I tell people, I got easy, don't be taking this thing because in future when your kidney is not working, I won't be taking care of it. But it's a way of checking and making sure that you don't find yourself in a situation that becomes, critical, that you can no longer handle. But the media really isn't helping. I know there's a good part of it where I know people are making a lot of money from blogging, having these TikTok pages for couples and stuff and all that. But we should find a way of couching the message. We should sometimes share the bitter bit of it.
Right.
Not the bitter, the reality. Not the bitter, it's like the reality of it.
The reality of it. It's not always like you have when you see these people, these TikTok couples, it's all the fancy, let's try this. It's funny. Sometimes I fall prey. I feel like, hey, when can I get this? So, but then quickly I check myself, like, is this everyday life for them? This is just 3 seconds of their lives that they are showing on social media. This is not what it is.
Right.
So we need to find a way to couch the message out there or properly prime that message we are putting out there for consumption.
Okay, let me actually ask Bruce his own thoughts about this story. What do you think about this story, especially being a man?
The lady is 1, immature. 2, disrespectful. Because I'm thinking she's not in good terms with the in-law.
Mother-in-law,
Because if for a very long time, your mom, and even it's not even in good terms with her parents. Because in this case, if you have issues, there are nannies that can take care of your kids. This day and age, your mother can even come in and take care of your kids. Like you rightly said, nursing homes are there. People can come in, but she has a bad influence coming from a group of people also looking at her age. She will have friends who would, oh, leave your husband, that kind of vibe. So she's immature. And like you've all told her, she's wicked.
Oh, yes, she is.
She is wicked. And I pray this man stands on his feet.
Oh, yeah.
And shows her Pepe.
Yeah.
But you know the surprising part? When he gets better, he will not show her Pepe.
Yeah.
He will not.
He has to show her Pepe.
And he might not even remember anything because it's a stroke.
He might decide to forget.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.